What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a first look at the MB-339 Air Mackie. So this isn't really a first look per se. This may be the first time you're looking, but I've looked at it a few times. I've flown it a few times. I've learned a little bit about it, and I gotta say it's a great plane. I would recommend it if light scout like ground attack is for you, and the A-10 is a little bit too much for you because the A-10 is really hard, then this is the one. This thing is great. So we're gonna go over the startup procedure and really how to work the weapon because it's super simple. It's all on this little panel right here. You choose your station, master arm, and yeah, it's super simple. And so let's get into the startup right now. Okay. So first thing you want to do is battery on. Then you want to come over to engine master, turn that on, and starter button. You hold it for 2 seconds, and you see the RPM going up right here. And once it's past 10%, then you just move the throttle forward into where it says idle, and that'll get the engine started. So now it's pretty much done. We just go through and turn everything on. So JPT limiter, turn that on. Anti-skid to normal. Go ahead and turn your radio on transmit receive. While we're over here, we're going to turn our oxygen on. And up under the seat, there's a little red lever. You click that to arm your ejection seat. There's going to be a little pin over here on the canopy. You're going to want to pull that out. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm just, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. So we're going to turn demist for the windshield on. And come over here. Just go ahead and anti-ice pitot and engine. Turn your INS GPS on. And while that's turning on, we want to turn TACAN to transmit receive. Up here on this GPS panel, you're going to see last stored. You're going to want to press that button twice. Once to bring the coordinates up, and then twice to accept. That's going to align itself. Make sure we have all of our weapons up here. We got 2 rocket pods on each side and these high drag bombs. I don't know why it has rocket right there. That's kind of weird, but we'll go with it. So this is a mistake that I've made several times. You're gonna want to bring your flaps up, not your flaps, your air brake. Close your air brake before you leave, because it spawns with the air brake out, and that's no bueno. Oh, almost forgot to turn our generators on. Cannot forget those. Right beside the battery. Turn both of those on. And next we're going to want to close our canopy with left control C. And that'll close it and lock it, so you don't have to worry about anything there. And right now we're just waiting on our INS to align. We want to turn our sight on L2. For what? I have no idea. I don't know the difference between L1 and L2, to be honest, but just keep it on L2. The brightness all the way up. Make sure you can see it. And also bring your flaps up 1 notch to the takeoff right here, not down. Alright, and now that once this says GPS OK, then we are good to go. Make sure our backup ADI is level. And then we're going to want to look right down here in front of the stick and pull that pin. And now we have control of the aircraft. And to get everything moving, you want to, now this is kind of weird. I don't know if they're gonna fix this or what's up with it, because it took me forever to learn this. So you're gonna want to left click this, and then on the sides of it, it's gonna have the little scroll thing, the little circle. You're gonna want to scroll wheel in. Now your parking brake is off, and you're ready to go. Right after you press nose wheel steering, and now you're ready to go. So let's taxi out to the runway. Taxi is just like any other plane in this Air Mackie. You just use your rudder pedals to turn left and right, and obviously throttle to go forward. So let's go out to the runway and get ready for takeoff. You know, it's really weird. I've always had this kind of attraction to planes like this. Like this, the L-39, the C-101. They're all like scout and light attack aircraft. I mean, they don't have the most capability in the world, but there's just something about them. Like they're not supersonic, obviously. They're slow. They're all really fun to fly. They're like really visceral, and you know, it's just really fun. Sorry about my voice, by the way. I don't know what's wrong with me. I guess I'm sick. So the first thing you want to do when you take off, brakes are super powerful on this thing, by the way, so watch out. So hold the brake, full power. This thing will hold full power on the brakes. Obviously, it has like, you can probably kick more thrust than this thing has. So release the brake. Now this thing you do not want to pull up too hard or you will tail strike it. Because the landing gear is so short, it's so close to the ground. You just got to be real careful with that. I've done it a few times, my fair share. About 100 knots, you want to start pulling up. Since we're heavy, it may be a little later. Just pull up a little bit, not much, and she'll come up when she's ready. And we're up now. Put your landing gear up, and I usually wait until about 150 to bring my flaps up. Alright, flaps up. And we are off. And I came to Persian Gulf to do this mission just for the fact of they just updated the texture, the terrain textures, and I gotta say the mountains where we're going look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna skip over this flat terrain and through the power of editing, I will see you when we get to the mountains. Alright guys, we're back. We're here at the mountains and just take a look. These textures they do look a little better. A lot better. Wow. Looks great. Our target is on the other side of this ridge here. So let's go ahead and get our mast arm on. I'm gonna set my sequence to ripple to shoot all my rockets at one time. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be in, but tail only fusing always works for me. Then you want to come down here and select which stations you want to fire. Mine are going to be the two outermost rocket pods. And the reason they sent this little MB-339 out here instead of like an F-16 or whatever is they didn't want the enemy to know that we had F-16s in the area. And you have intel from a special source that a SAM site is being set up at the moment. So I believe our target area is between these two towns. We're gonna do a little flyover maybe to scout it out. Oh no, it's actually right off of the nose. I can see them on the ground right there. I guess we can just go ahead and okay. So the depression mills, I always set the rockets to about 50. That works best with me. I've seen people not set it at all, and it worked out for them. But I like to set it around 650, and that's what works for me. I guess it's whatever works, right? So we're gonna put them. It's really hard to see over the nose of this thing. Okay, so we're gonna go on a dive. Not too much, but just enough. About 20 degrees seems to work. Cut back engine power. Alright, we're gonna aim for the SAM network first, and then we're gonna just ripple them all over the place, and all in town by accident. Okay, we're gonna push the throttle back up. We got a couple targets there. We're also getting shot at. We're getting hit. That's okay. That's okay. Alright, we're gonna increase our altitude, and while we do that, we're gonna unselect our outboard rockets, and we're gonna select our inboard rockets. Then we're gonna circle back around. I believe we got the SAM net that they had already put up, the radar, which is nice. So even if they do set up another SAM network right there, then they have to bring another radar, and that costs a lot of money. So maybe this will deter them from I'm setting up in this valley and catching some planes flying by, maybe doing training exercises or whatever. All right, so I have Oz on target. There's a pretty decent cluster of targets where we're about to hit at, so we need to get our nose back around and get back in there. I found that starting from about around 6,000 feet seems to work the best for me anyway. I guess it's all personal preference at the end of the day, but it works. So, all right, we're gonna drop our nose down to about 15-20 degrees. And we happen to be in the sun, so we can see all the scratches on our windshield. Alright, so I see one. Might try to set ourselves up for a strafe to the right. Alright. Let's get these off. Alright. Let's get out of here and set up for our bombing run. Alright, so those two are right there. Try to dodge these bullets as best as I can. If they stay exactly right there, then we'll be able to hit them. We're gonna come in extremely fast, well, as fast as we can get in this thing. Had another one blow up. Yeah, they're all in a line right there. So while we're gonna want to gain altitude, and then we're gonna dive and level out right before we get to them, and we're just gonna level bomb them and hope that that works. So for this, I go up to nose tail for fusing, unselect the empty rocket pods, and select the bombs on the innermost pylons. And for this one, we're gonna scroll wheel back up to 0 and all the way down to 80 for the depression table. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and go on a left-hand circuit while also still climbing and gaining altitude. We're probably gonna start our dive around 200 knots, which is extremely slow, but hopefully we can gain up to around 350 on our way down, and that way we hopefully can dodge as much ground fire as possible while also delivering our payload. And might I add, I'm definitely no expert in using this. I've used this or this type of plane a handful of times. So, I mean, I'm no expert, but I've done air to ground in a whole bunch of other planes. But this one does seem to be a little different, being that it's so old school and visceral. It still has all steam gauges, no screens in here. Which, I mean, I love it. And you learn to love it. And then you get into a newer jet and you're like, what? What's happening? So I think we're gonna go ahead and start our dive. Pick up a lot of speed. I think we're gonna stay around 1,500 feet. This thing does not have a radar altitude, so that kind of sucks. So we're gonna have to guess around 1,500 feet, but that'll be okay. We don't have any way of knowing where to drop, so we're just gonna drop as soon as we get over them. They are shooting. Hopefully we can get in and get out extremely fast. Alright, we just dropped our bombs. And bullseye. That was absolutely beautiful. Oh my god, that was perfect. That was perfect. I don't know how that got in blow up. Wow. But that's okay. Maybe he can go back and tell his friends not to mess with us And don't set up SAM sites in the middle of a valley. Oh my god. That was perfect. Okay, well, our job is done here, so we're gonna RTB. I'll see you when we get back to the airfield, and we'll do an instructed landing and go over the mission, and yeah, we'll talk about it. All right, guys, we are here at the airfield. We're gonna be doing a left-hand downwind, right-hand base turn into a westernly landing. No, north landing. We're gonna be landing to the north. We're gonna get to around 800 feet AGL, and I want to enter our downwind at about 200 knots. I think that would work out pretty good, and then we'll slow down from there. I think we may have to guess the altitude because I did not set my altimeter to this airfield, which is always a good idea. Alright, so we're going to pull back to idle, and as we enter our downwind below 175 knots, we can drop our gear and put our flaps down to the takeoff position. Alright, we're going to turn into the downwind. Alright, flaps and gear down. And we're going to lose a lot of airspeed. I love the vibrations you get with this thing. It's like buffeting or whatever because of the landing gear being out. I love it. Alright, so we're gonna probably go about a mile past threshold. And then we'll turn in for our base and into final. I'm gonna scoot to the left a little bit to widen up our turn, make sure we don't overshoot. I hate overshooting. I'd rather undershoot than overshoot every day. Gonna probably have to increase throttle and go ahead and do our base turn. And remember, right now your flaps are in the takeoff position, and once we conclude our base turn and we are under 150 knots, then we are going to drop the flaps into full down. So I'm going to pull back on the throttle. And as soon as that thing crosses that yellow line, and now we're gonna drop our flaps to full down, put in our air brake because I pulled it out to slow down. Then you want to maintain around 130 knots over threshold, and we're going to want to touch down at about 95 to 100 knots. got throttle. Ooh, that was a little rough, but we made it back. We made it back safely. And we're just gonna wanna let her do her thing, and then we go park. All right, guys. So that's the MB-339 Aramaki. It's really fun. That was actually the first actual like mission that I've done with this thing. It was really fun. This is a really capable aircraft if you use it the right way. I mean, it's no A-10, it's no F-16, but I mean, it'll get the job done. And that last truck that was moving when we left, he actually did end up blowing up. So that's always nice when we knock out every target that we needed. So I guess he couldn't go tell his friends about not putting a SAM network up there, but I think they'll take the hint. So if you guys like to see content like this, drop down in the comments and let me know. And let me know if you have this thing. So yeah, if you guys like this content, then let me know down in the comments. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button, smack the like button, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.